Today, we're going to dive into something pretty cool. The code that lets you build your own custom trading tools right inside TradingView. It's called PineScript v6. And, if you've ever wanted to create your own unique edge in the market, this is exactly where you start.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You're staring at a chart, and you just think, man, I wish I had an indicator that could just show me this specific thing. Something that's built just for your strategy, something nobody else is looking at.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to show you just how easy it is to start building those very tools for yourself, like right now.
So how do you get this custom edge? The answer is PineScript. Think of it as a programming language that was built from the ground up with one person in mind, the trader.
So what is PineScript v6, really? It's TradingView's very own language. It lets you write code that just runs right on your charts. You can build indicators, you can test out strategies, you can even set up super specific alerts. And this latest version, v6, is a huge leap forward. It's way more powerful, but, and this is the best part, it's also a lot safer and easier for beginners to jump into.
Now this is where the magic really happens. We're not just talking about drawing some lines on a chart. You can literally build an analytical tool that nobody else has. You can take a trading idea and backtest it over years of data before you ever risk a dime. You can automate signals, tap into really advanced stuff like order flow data. It's all about going from just watching charts to actually building the tools that help you understand them.
Okay, that's enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty. The best part is you can write and run your very first indicator without installing a single thing.
No, seriously, it is this easy. You just open any chart on TradingView, look for the Pine Editor tab at the bottom, and you're good to go. There's no complicated setup, no downloads. Your web browser is all you need. In probably less than a minute, you can have a blank script open, just waiting for your first idea. And boom, there it is. That's it. This right here is a complete, totally functional indicator, a 14-period simple moving average, and just 5 lines of code. It's clean, it's easy to read, and it creates one of the most classic tools in all of trading. So let's break down what's actually going on here.
See how logical this is? That first line just tells TradingView, hey, we're using version 6. The indicator line sets it all up. The input line, that creates a little settings box where you can change the number from 14 to 50 or whatever you want. Then ta.sma does all the math for you, and plot just draws the line on your screen. It's that straightforward.
All right, so you've seen what to write. Now let's talk about how PineScript actually thinks. There are a couple of core rules you've got to know, and once you get them, everything else just clicks into place.
This is the big one, the most fundamental concept. Your script runs one time for every single bar on your chart, starting from the oldest bar on the left and moving to the newest one on the right. And for each of those bars, you automatically get all this data handed to you: the open, high, low, close, and volume. This is the raw material your script uses for everything.
And here is a perfect example of why v6 is such a game changer, especially for beginners. In the old days, you could write code that was kind of vague and could lead to some really sneaky bugs. Version 6 makes you be crystal clear. You can't just say, if my number, you have to tell it exactly what you're checking for, like if my number is not 0. Honestly, this one change will save you so many headaches down the road.
Okay, so we've drawn a pretty line on a chart. That's cool. But what if you want to test an actual trading idea, with buy signals and sell signals? Well, that's where strategies come in. And you're not going to believe how simple the first step is. To turn your indicator into something you can actually backtest, you literally just change one word at the top of your script. The word indicator becomes strategy. That's it. Doing that unlocks all the functions you need to start simulating trades.
And just like we saw before, v6 cleans things up here too. That old when parameter is totally gone. Now you just use a simple if block. It makes so much more sense. If my buy condition is true, then enter the trade. Your code is easier to read, easier to debug, and it just feels a lot more logical.
Now, version 6 isn't just about making things safer and clear. It also came packed with some incredibly powerful new tools that open up a whole world of new possibilities.
This is where things get really fun. With something called enums, you can create drop-down menus in your settings, so a user could choose between an SMA and an EMA, for example. Runtime logging is a lifesaver for finding bugs, but the really huge one is request.footprint. This gives you access to professional-grade order flow data right inside your script. That's a massive deal.
Okay, let me save you from some future frustration. Every beginner makes these mistakes, so let's get them out of the way. First, always put @version equals 6 on the very first line. Second, remember that new, strict logic we talked about. And third, a sneaky one. How math works has changed a bit. Now, 1 divided by 2 gives you 0.5, a decimal, not 0. That can quietly mess up your calculations if you're not expecting it.
All right, we've covered a ton of ground really fast. Your head might be spinning a little, and that's totally okay. So the big question is, where do you go from here? How do you turn all this information into an actual skill?
Here's your plan. It's a simple step-by-step path. First, just try to recreate an indicator you already know, like an RSI or a MACD. Then, make it customizable by adding some user inputs. After that, level up and build a complete strategy and see how it performs. And from there, you can dive into the advanced stuff and, most importantly, learn from the thousands of free open-source scripts the community has already built.
And that brings us to what I think is the most important point, which this quote captures perfectly. Learning to code in PineScript isn't just about learning to code. The act of forcing yourself to translate a trading idea into a strict set of rules, well, it sharpens your thinking like nothing else. It makes you understand your own strategies and the market on a much deeper level.
So there you have it. That's your quick start guide to PineScript v6. Honestly, the barrier to getting started has never been lower, and the potential to create something truly unique for your trading has never been higher. So I guess the only question left is, what's the first idea you're going to bring to life?